If you're a BCBA and still only making money one way, we need to talk. Stop leaving money on the table. Hi, I'm Dom, the BCBA mom, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we are talking about 5 ways that BCBAs are leaving money on the table or not utilizing their full skill set. Whatever is your motivating operation, let's get into it. So I know I made several videos about how to make multiple streams of income. Feel free to watch those videos after this one. But this one will focus on the why. Why should you be exploring other streams of income, avenues? I know we say BCBAs are in demand, but at this point, we don't really know what's going on. So it's best to diversify your income as much as possible to make sure you are utilizing your skill set to the best of your abilities. You're making a greater impact than just with the population that you serve, and making sure that you have longevity in your finances. Because this degree was not cheap. So let's make sure we are setting ourselves up for financial success. The first way that BCBAs and RBTs are leaving money on the table is working one job. Now, like I said, your MO is your MO. Maybe you only have time to work one job because your second job is being a mom, or your second job is taking care of someone, or your second job is loving and living life. I don't know. But there is more opportunity for you to make multiple streams of income if you want. So let's say a BCBA is working a 9 to 5, right? Let's say you're working at a school. That's about 7 to 3, 5 days a week. And you do that over and over again for the next 5 years. You are relying solely on one paycheck. At any point, that contract could end. At any point, that school may lose their funding for special education or for other departments. You may work that 9 to 5 thinking, okay, if I keep working here, I'm going to get a pay increase, I'm going to get a raise, I'm going to get a promotion. It's dedicated to this one job. So you are turning down other opportunities. You're turning down speaking engagements. You're turning down consulting roles because you are just laser focused on this one job. The truth is, you're putting all of your energy into that one job. You are supervising their staff. You are training their staff. That job may be leaning to burnout, and there is no raise in sight. But in reality, what you could do is start offering parent trainings on the weekend, or start creating videos and share them with parents on your social media, or create a training packet. Offering small supervision groups. Everybody needs a supervisor. You're doing it anyway at work, so replicate that curriculum, replicate that structure, and provide remote supervision. Another thing you can do, and something I've always done, is contract out with other ABA companies. Even if it's, hey, I can give you 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week, 15 hours a week. It doesn't have to be much, but that's extra money coming in, and that's exposing you to another demographic, another culture and subculture or subset of people that you can now apply behavior science to. I know some BCBAs who, as soon as they passed the exam, they landed that one job, and they've been at that one job working with that same population for their whole entire career. Now, nothing is wrong with that. Me, the way my mind works, the way my passion and my creativity is, I need something to break up the monotony of my day. So if I am working my 9 to 5, I want to also do some teaching on the side. I may want to do some supervision on the side. May want to create training material. I just need a passion project while I'm working that 9 to 5. You can get credentialed with insurance. You can do private pay and work with families through word of mouth or referrals. You can strictly do parent training. You can strictly do training and coaching. You can strictly do mentorship. Guys, the options are endless. You just have to lock in and tap into that unique skill that everybody says you have, that you know you have. You just got to move on it. even if you're not ready. Do it even if you're not ready. Do it even if you're scared, because you're leaving too much money on the table and you are not tapping into the full potential of what you have to offer this field or what this field has to offer you. The second way BCBAs and RBTs are leaving money on the table is by not using content to generate leads. So whatever your second or third or fourth stream of income is, how are you going to market it? The internet is free. You don't have to get like a filming company to pick up your pilot or anything like that. You could just turn on this little phone right here, press the record button, and start telling the people what you know and what it is that you want to offer them. So no, you shouldn't be salesy or pitchy or all of like coercive, but just start giving away information for free. Like, it's in your mind anyway. You want to tell somebody about ABA anyway. So start utilizing your social media platforms. That can look like LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook Lives, Instagram Lives, Pinterest, Teachers Pay Teachers, podcasts. The list is endless. And then not only are you disseminating the science, but you are using that platform to generate leads for other products or other services that you may have. So let me tell you about my social media. I started my social media in 2019. I first started my social media because I wanted to share like the basics of ABA in like a really plain, funny, relatable way. I started talking about positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, how you use it for your kids, how to make it effective, how to use punishment procedures correctly, because I wanted parents to hear me. And then I pivoted and started talking to people who were trying to get into this field. I put videos up about how I passed my BCBA exam on the first try, study tip, how to re-credential, how to land the first ABA job or your first RBT job. Literally everything that I had gone through, I started sharing it. And now I wake up in the morning and get a notification that YouTube has paid me. So even if I don't make another YouTube video, my work lives out there forever. And I will continue to get paid because the next wave of BCBAs, aspiring BCBAs and RBTs will want to watch those videos. If that's something in your wheelhouse, even if you're not a person who wants to be in front of the camera, you can do a podcast, you can do blogs if you're someone who loves to write. You can make Pinterest boards of what a sensory room should look like, or what a ABA classroom should look like, things that you put in your classroom to make it more fun. I don't know what's in you, but whatever is in you, it's time for it to come out. When posting your content, you always want to have a call to action. So yeah, you're dropping all these gems, you're doing it for free, you're making them laugh, you're making it engaging, you're making it fun. The call to action is, okay, now book a call with me, book a consultation with me, book me for a speaking gig, hire me to come to your class and train your staff or your students, buy my digital product. Okay, so people are going to want to work with you if they like you, they know you, which they will, because you're going to be consistently posting, and then that would build that trust. So when you do create a product, they're like, that's exactly what we've been waiting for. Another way BCBAs are leaving money on the table is by not leveraging or providing supervision. Wherever you go, you're going to provide supervision anyway, right? Like every job I've gone to, if they have RBTs or BTs or even DSPs, you are providing a certain level of training and supervision anyway. So continue to work those muscles, work that skill, create content, creating a curriculum, start an archive of assignments that behavior technicians or RBTs reached back out to you and was like, you know what, that was really fun. I loved how we played that game. Can you send me that worksheet again? Can you send me that link? Put it all into a curriculum and start providing supervision. We all need it. It is 100% required, is a required step in order for you to matriculate through this program. And honestly, there are not a lot of BCBAs willing to provide supervision because it's a lot of work. So think about it. You're doing it anyway. So with the time that you have, start transferring what you're doing, what's working in supervision, doing more research about supervision, taking more CEUs, creating more documents, creating more assignments, worksheets, research, finding more articles, whatever interests you or whatever people have told you that interests them. Start doing more research and creating materials for that so you can create your own supervision program. That's exactly what I did. It started off with one supervisee. She was like, hey, can you be my supervisor? Sure. I was scared, okay? I was scared out of my mind. I was like, I'm about to mess up her little life. I feel so bad. But it worked out. Like, you know more than you think. You are a better leader than you think you are. And somebody is out there waiting for the type of leadership that you provide. And they actually need it. It's a requirement. So take the 8-hour supervision course, start downloading some really great material that is interesting to you. Start going through the task list and see what unrestricted work you want to assign to that. And then also I'm going to link a video about the new requirements for supervision so that you are up to date on all the changes, but start providing supervision. Really, it's needed. And if you really want help creating your supervision structure or curriculum, please book a consultation with me. I provide mentorship for new supervisees. You see how there was a call to action? Another way BCBAs are leaving money on the table is by not providing digital products. I remember when I was completing the same training over and over and over again. I would sit up in front of a group and I feel like I would say the same things over and over again. I'm thinking to myself, why didn't I just record this? Why didn't I record this? That way I can take myself out of this part and work on other projects or other streams of income. Or a lot of people reach out to me on Instagram. Hey, can you tell me all the steps that I need in order to become a BCBA? Can you tell me all the steps I need in order to re-credential? So many questions people ask me, and I feel like I'm sending them the same links over and over again. Can you show me how to make materials? Can you show me this? Can you show me that? What I could have done was created a document with all of these useful, resourceful links, and then you can sell that as a digital product. That could be a course, a workbook, a downloadable guide on how you started your business, or how you got your first school contract, or how you wrote your contract, how you wrote your business plans, how you conduct assessments, how you score assessments, what's the best way to make an ABA graph. Like, you have all of these skills and you're keeping them to yourself. There is a need. So create a digital product so when someone asks you about it, it's like, oh, let me send you this. You can also get a Amazon storefront. If you are known for like having all of the best therapy toys, sensory toys, everything prepared for your BCBA sessions, start dropping some of those things in your content. Hey, I'm going to link this below. If you're on TikTok, hey, start getting stuff off the TikTok shop. Now you want to make sure that it works, right? You want to make sure that it is effective. And you don't want to attach yourself to a product that you don't really agree with. But that is another way that you can have an additional stream of income and not leave the money on the table. So the last and final way that BCBAs are leaving money on the table is not seeing yourself as the expert. You literally have 10 years of experience, but you're not acting like her. You're not walking into that level of expertise. Meanwhile, you got somebody who's a newly minted BCBA who has been in a game for 2 years. They are hosting webinars, invited speakers. They are opening their own business. They are doing parent coaching, consultations, because they know that they are the expert in that area. It's a mindset shift, right? Imposter syndrome is real. I'm not going to lie and pretend like as soon as I got my letters, I was like, Hi, I'm Don, the BCBA mom, and welcome back to my No. It took me a long time to even start feeling like I can talk to other BCBAs about this science, because it's like, yeah, I passed the exam, but I'm just going to be over here quiet in the corner when God had another plan. My plan was to be the expert, be that representation for Black BCBAs, for autism moms, for girls from Chicago who want to help and be impactful in that way, and they just need to see somebody that looks like them that can do it and share that information with them. I want to be the expert for everyone that's attending an HBCU right now who want to be in the field of social work or psychology or speech pathology, but also may feel like they may want to do something different. You can do something different. I want to be the spokesperson. Google and Pepsi and McDonald's and all the major franchises, and when they have their big corporate annual trainings, I want to be their keynote speaker on how to change behavior, how to get more customers. Like, we can apply our science to so many things, but until you tap into that mindset that you can level up in your research, in applying what we do to different settings, then you are going to be in the same spot, working the same 9 to 5, waiting for that raise. And I don't want that for you. I really don't. I know this was a lot, and a lot of you guys are waiting until you're ready. Let me wait until I finish this, wait until I finish that. Okay, but let's put a plan behind it. Let's put a behavior plan, behavior intervention plan. Let's put some actionable steps behind it. When are you going to be done with that first training? When are you going to get it uploaded? When are you going to market it? How consistently are you going to be with posting? When are you going to start taking other consulting jobs? Because you've always wanted to work with this population or that population, right? When are you going, when are you going to do those things? Because if you're waiting for you to be ready, we may be waiting for a long time. Meanwhile, the people who are getting booked, they've already decided that they were ready. Now, I'm not asking you to compare yourself to this BCBA, this RBT, or this person in front of you right now. I'm telling you to look deep inside and see what motivates you, what reinforces your behavior. What do you see yourself doing? What kind of BCBA or RBT do you want to be known for? And are you showing up as them right now? Or are you leaving your skill sets on the table? Are you leaving possible impact that could be made on the table? And are you leaving money on the table? All right, that's all the time I have. And if this video was impactful for you in any way, please do not hesitate. Actually, not to hesitate. I need you to subscribe. I need you to hit that subscribe button, like this video, give it a thumbs up, ring the notification bell, and share it with someone who could benefit from it. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.